Tropical storm Matmo or Henry out here continuing to pull off there towards the northwest. This is the second named storm system in less than a week to have an impact out here on the Philippines. And at least at this time, it does look like it does pose the possibility of a direct landfall. But even if this does not occur, we're going to be breaking down why this is still going to be bringing some heavy precipitation across much of the Philippines as it does go ahead throughout the rest of the week. And then eventually, as we look ahead, those of you in the Taiwan and southern portions of the southern Japanese islands, including Ishigaki, Miyako-jima, and possibly Okinawa, could be feeling the impacts of a strong typhoon. At least at this time, though, this storm system does have winds about 74, gusting up to 111 kilometers per hour, according to Japan Meteorological Agency, JTWC, a little bit higher. And what they are seeing, at least with this storm at this time, is it is starting to gain some decent circulation here. It does have an abundance of moisture inflow coming in from the west, and it is starting to go into an area of reduced vertical wind shear. Furthermore, the sea surface temperatures, as we found out very clearly with Ramasoon, are very, very warm out here, and they provide a lot of heat energy for rapid intensification. So this is definitely going to be some of the factors we're weighing in here on this storm system as we continue to look ahead. Meanwhile, our GFS model outlook, I just want to show this for you, extending out here into Sunday evening, already expecting a strong storm to develop. The good news, this model and many of the other ones also expecting this to stay offshore of the Philippines before moving out there and possibly impacting Taiwan by next week. Now, that's just this one. Let's go ahead and show you some other looks, and this is from the NavGem model outlook here, and shows our storm system also tracking off there, just there towards the northwest, and impacting Taiwan by later next week. We're talking about upwards about Wednesday into Thursday here as a strong typhoon, possibly around the Taipei area. Now, one reason why all these models are in agreement with this forecast track is the overall background flow. You have a high pressure ridge off there towards the northeast, and that flow that pushes this storm basically following these lines in that northwesterly projection. What we have been seeing, though, is that ridge has kind of been remaining in place, and at least at this time, I'm not fully seeing this ridge giving way enough to allow this to stay offshore of the Philippines. So I do think that it could clip the Apari region there in northern Luzon as a strong, severe tropical storm or possibly weak typhoon at that time after it pushes overhead and then heading off there towards Taiwan. Even if this does not happen, this is what I want to make clear. We are seeing that enhancement of the monsoon out here. And what I mean by that, let's look at this. This is our model outlook from ECMWF overlaid with the Joint Typhoon Warning Center track. Storm system by Sunday evening expected to become a typhoon. But as it does intensify here, as I mentioned on that visible satellite imagery just a moment ago, it does have an abundance of moisture inflow coming around the western and southern periphery of it. And that's like a river of moisture running across the Philippines. And that provides the enhanced monsoon, the Habagat, and that's going to bring the risk of flooding out here, especially in these areas that just received all of that heavy rainfall from Ramasoon. The ground's already saturated. It can't soak up any more precipitation. So when that happens, all that rain gathers into the rivers and streams, and you see flash flooding. That is going to be one of the biggest problems, I think, with this storm system. Even if it does make landfall there in northern portions of Luzon, and let's say it does go on the western periphery of this cone of air, that area is very used to typhoons and also is relatively low populated. But the heavier populations, that's where you're going to be seeing that enhancement of the monsoon. So I think that's going to be the bigger threat as we look ahead throughout the rest of this week. It's not a direct landfall. I don't expect this somehow to track off there towards the west. That's not going to happen, guys. But we are still going to be seeing some gusty winds and heavy rainfall. The people that are going to see the direct landfall, they're off there very likely into Taiwan. Something that always happens every time we talk about a storm in Taiwan as well is the threat of some flooding rains. Very mountainous out here, and every time a typhoon hits, we're talking about 800 millimeters of rainfall easily. It's some incredible stuff, and that's definitely going to be a problem. For now, though, we do have our action map out here for people in northern Luzon. Do think that, at least at this time, you should be, it is a relatively lower population, especially near the coastline, but you should be getting ready for another storm system as this does push off there towards the north and could bring that threat of some gusty winds as we look ahead. likely as we look ahead. Actually, it's not so far away. Storm system could be pushing by Monday afternoon, the evening into Tuesday morning. So at least at this time, tropics are not settling down. We're going to continue to watch this storm system. And, I mean, last place that need it is out here in the Philippines. But, unfortunately, another one really stirring there in the Philippine Sea. Stay safe out there, everybody, and thanks for watching.